Hello there, Kasama here. So I thought I'd pick up from where I left off on the last video about integrity and how you show up and how you show up on time and how you do what you say you're going to do, which is a definition of integrity. But I want to piggyback right on that and do a part 2, which is what happens after you show up, right? And the word that came to my mind today was efficiency. I wasn't always an efficient person, but having been in business, so I've been in different capacities, right? I graduated from college, I had a job, and climbed up the corporate ladder, got into the executive level position, sat in board meetings, all that stuff. And so I have had some really great role models, and I've studied leadership. So all of these best practices that other people have done is what I've learned and have strived and continue to strive to be. And efficiency is one of the trademarks of what truly successful people must have. When I think about efficiency, it has to do with how we value our time. You can't be efficient and not value your time. You can't be truly efficient and waste time at the same time. They just don't work together. Because efficiency is about making a smart use of your time, working smarter, right? And you've heard that expression. And for example, this morning, I had multiple communications on different transactions, on different clients, in different situations. And there were probably more communications than really needed to happen. And if everybody, in a perfect world, everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, and they proactively think about what they're going to say and what they're going to do before they actually say it, right? But we're not in a perfect world. So if everybody was efficient this morning, all the players on all sides, on all the transactions, I probably could have had 10 less emails and texts and phone calls than I really needed to, right? When I think about efficiency, if you haven't checked out this book, you should. Highly recommend it. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, the late Stephen Covey. He's written amazing leadership philosophies, and it's used all over the world in corporations. And there is a 4-quadrant in there of what's important and what's urgent. And what I found is that as I work in this crisis management industry in real estate, because there's hardly anything that is smooth. There's not one transaction it's rare, but it happens once in a long time. You'll get a totally smooth transaction, and you just want to oh my gosh, I don't know, treasure that, right? Because it's far and few in between. But because we're in crisis mode and we're in putting out fires mode all the time, when I think about being efficient, when I work with another agent on the other side who's efficient, oh my gosh, it's like, whoa! The melody is synchronized because you work proactively. You look at priorities, right? And like this morning, when I started my morning, and I started pretty early this morning because I needed to get on top of a few things. I had to be proactive on a few tasks before I reached out to my client. So the way I work is that my client should never feel like they have questions that are not getting answered. The way I work is I would rather have answers in front of my clients before they even knew that they were going to ask the question, so that they're fully informed and fully equipped, so they're not caught by surprise, and they're not surprised by what's happening because their agent didn't tell them. So that's important in how I work. So that makes me become more efficient in the information flow. I have, a checklist. I have, here's what's to expect. I have timeline. I have all of these things generated so that all my clients do is click open and they will know what's happening. That's how I work. And to me, that's efficiency, because when you lack efficiency, you get into the reactive work mode, which means you're caught by surprise. You're in this anxiety mode. You now have to deal with things that past deadline, things that could have been managed proactively up front. And I feel like people get into a panic in general because they're now trying to chase after problem solving, right? Because a problem occurred and now they're trying to fix it. So I think that efficiency is a huge game changer if you can just get a taste of that and you work in that mode. What I told my older son who's going to college is, listen, buddy, nobody's going to be telling you when it's time to leave the classroom and go to the next classroom, and you're going to see a herd of students in the quad, crossing paths going to the next classroom. It doesn't work like that in college. You are going to get on top of your own schedule, and your schedule is going to change every semester. So you need to get on your priorities like the night before, not the morning off because it's too late, because now you're rushing, right? Just trying to get to class or what have you. So really dive into the habits of being efficient early on. And I think that is so critically important with the youth today, right? With students today. That's what sets apart the ones that are just excelling and the ones that are struggling. I mean, it's the same course outline given to the students. Why are some students struggling and some students are not? And the struggling students are not necessarily because they're not intellectually able to keep up. They're just not able to keep up with the workload in general, right? And that's true when you become adults too. I come across inefficiency in all areas, all aspects, and sometimes I just get so frustrated because not only are they inefficient on their end, it affects my ability to be efficient on my end. If I'm working with them, if I'm collaborating, if it's the agent on the other side, what have you. Okay, so I think it's really important for efficiency to be sort of the in your playbook, whatever you do, whether you have a job working for a company, have managers, or whether you have your own business, you're self-employed, whether you're in sales, whether you're an executive, especially if you're a leader, if you hold any leadership position, being inefficient is going to make you overcommit yourself to responsibilities and obligations, and there's only one of you. I always say that. There's only one of me. I can only be one place at a time. So I'm not going to overcommit so that you would view me as a flake because I said yes to something and then I didn't show up because I was someplace else at the same time. So it's really, really important to be the efficient king or queen. And it's a habit, man. It's one day at a time. I'm still a work in progress. So here's to you. May you have an efficient and productive week. This is Kasama. Thanks for watching.